Link is out. Right now, I'm about to text the link to people. Go ahead, it's on you, Ma, please.
All right, let's get it going, man. All right,
3,
what's
2,
this?
1,
See this?
live.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we live now. We live now.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, so peace to the family out there, man. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man. At Black Men Discuss. We got a pretty good segment that we want to build on tonight and talk about something that me and Keem has talked about before in the past. And it was funny because me and he was having a conversation yesterday on the telephone, and he brought up a particular scenario that happened to him at work. And right then and there, I knew exactly what was the topic of discussion that we had to build on tonight, man, on a webcast on this platform, and pretty much address, man. So for those that seen the flyer on Instagram, and if you haven't seen it, you just got getting a notification. Basically, what we're gonna be talking about is the kind of a general question, but it's kind of like a general question, but it's kind of like a broad statement in a sense as well. Do Black people feel like you have to confine your personality inside a predominantly white environment, right? Do you feel like by working in those environments that you're not 100% comfortable? Like, is it something that you feel like you know that lingering thought that's always in the back of your mind saying that, okay, I'm in this environment, um, let me just be on my P's and Q's. Let me just dot my I's and cross my T's at all costs so that I can either save me from getting fired, keep my job, or just make a great impression. You know what I'm saying? And is this something that is relevant now in 2017? How does this correlate to the past? And what do we do about it going forward to the future? Me and Kenny want to talk about some things that we feel like, you know what I mean, ways to become self-efficient and self-sufficient, how you do things for yourself, motivating each other to go into our own business, pursuing our own dreams, and then pretty much, in a sense, you want to get to a certain level of comfortability the way where you working in those environments, you feel like, you know what I mean, you don't have to be like that. There's ways of going about being yourself and having white people respect for who you are. And how do you go about doing it? Do we change our vernacular? Do we change the way we speak? Do we change, our appearance from perception? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean,
Are we,
Kim, I
are
know
we,
we're gonna build on this and talk a little bit more and elaborate a little bit more on this tonight, man.
yeah, it's just about being authentic and unapologetically Black and African in corporate America. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us try to hide our Blackness, try to change our vernacular. I know I had to be conscious of that myself. Like I remember when I decided like I'm no longer going to try to, change the way I speak or the tone or the raspiness of my voice to try to, what I'm saying, fit in or whatever. Like, you're just gonna get me. And if that's what you don't like that, then you don't like that, but you don't get me live, what I'm saying, all of me and unapologetically. I'm not going to try to, buck and dance and try to, change who I am just to fit in the corporate world. But at some instances, uh, I wouldn't say kind of dumb down yourself, or you gotta be cognizant and conscious of just the way you behave and certain things you do around certain people. And so it's just what I'm saying, tonight, as you said, Banks, we just gotta, how do you do that? How do you be
Yeah,
unapologetic? And how do you be conscious? How do you know how you stand for your people and be conscious of the things that's going on in this country between Black and white Americans, but still work in the corporate world? Because I knew for me, once I started getting conscious, I got angry. Like I got mad as a motherfucker. Like I mean everything. I go to work and be thinking about all the shit I was learning and the history and the facts and looking at my boss like, man, fuck you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
it got me hot. Like, you know what I mean? And I started telling as many people as I could. There's people that still call me today. Like I said, I talked to Don and he called me, in Japan, like, yo, I was just thinking about you. Like, you was like, we sitting at work and you was sitting there spitting that knowledge at work right there in front of the white man. Yeah, give a fuck. I was like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, um, it's just, it's just how do you move, in that environment, and then steps to take to get out of that. Like, I think we also should cover that. Like, I feel like as you in that world, you can't just be like, all right, fuck this, I'm quitting this job, I'm out of here. Like, you got to take steps to build your brand and yourself outside of that position so that you're not dependent on that job. Because any day, you know what I'm saying, you don't own that, they could get to somebody else and say, you know, we don't need you. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of
Exactly.
people behave that way because we scared of losing that job. So
Yeah.
you end up hating who you are. Like, you go to work and you putting on a mask. So you end up hating what you do and hating who you are because you know you pretty much shaming yourself because you're like, man, I'm going here and I can't even, I gotta go ahead and put this face on for the white man. And you can't even be yourself. You see what I'm saying? And you might not even have a bad job. You feel like you diminishing yourself. So you know what I mean? But like let's get to it. Where you want to go with it first?
Yeah. Man, well, listen. The first thing I want to talk about, man, for the most part, I want to talk about is the fact that, like you said, man, um, being unapologetically black, man. Like when you in those environments. Prime example. We gonna get it going with this. Today, I went to work with a coworker, another black dude. You know what I'm saying? Me and him went to work. I mean, not went to work, went to lunch with a coworker today. We at lunch, we chopping it up. It's cool, brother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna drop no names and that. But me and him kind of had a little conversation about the situation. We was talking about, you know, he says when he goes around his friends check him to the point where it's like, yo, why you talking white, my nigga? Like, yo, what you like? And he was like, hold on, let me stop you dead. It's not necessarily me talking white. It's just me carrying myself with a certain level of professionalism. So when I'm around people, when I'm around these white folks, they don't start thinking that I'm such and such. And I was thinking to myself, and he was telling me this shit. I'm like, yo, I understand. I kind of get what you're saying to a certain level. Like, I understand that because a lot of times when we speak proper and whether we at work or we're in a professional controlled environment, black people would be quickly to associate that with the fact that you trying to talk white. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it's not necessarily being that. It's just, quote unquote, we speaking with proper etiquette. We speaking with proper English. You see what I'm saying? So you got to know how to, yeah.
Being professional.
But then King,
and then being fucking, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead. I don't want to talk. Go ahead.
hey, yo, real quick, how was my sound quality, man?
The sound quality is fine. You good?
Okay, so I kind of concur with the brother. I was like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? I do the same thing at work. It's just it's your first impression is your last impression. Blase, blase, blase. But here's where it gets shaky at King. So we get back to work or whatever, right? And I get to my desk, we chop it up like, yo, all right, bro, I'm gonna holler at you, my G. I'm gonna holler at you, my dude, whatever, right? So like an hour and a half later, I'm at my cube, I'm working, typing up some shit, doing some shit for work. I hit a brother. He runs into a white person, white woman, and like going towards the break room area because I sit close to the break room. So I hit a brother, whatever. He's like, hey, I noticed that you actually had your last name was like Jennings. I mean, did you get married? And she's like, yeah, I actually did, but my name is like just 2 or 3 different last names. So yeah, they just messed it up in the system. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just what they how they do it. And I'm sitting there in the desk like, this motherfucker here, like, yo, it's like, is he really doing this? Because it's a difference than you see the white woman, you be like, hey, what's going on, man? I noticed your name changed in the system. Did you get married or whatever? Yeah, mind you, right? He doesn't know this white woman because he does IT. So this is his way of not only creating an icebreaker to start a conversation,
right?
Because he doesn't know her. But then you really putting on the super goddamn mask. You didn't just insert on the Halloween, my nigga. You put on 3 or 4 of them motherfuckers, and
Right.
you went from being Gerard, my nigga, all the way to Roger. You went from Gerard to Roger. I mean, you should have heard this shit, Kim. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I wanted to have this discussion because it's like, yo, it's a difference than speaking proper English and being professional and having a casual conversation with somebody, just displaying basic interpersonal communication skills and creating a level of comfortability between you and that person to where y'all can exchange water cooler conversation, just have a normal conversation, then you just doing some fake ass fraudulent shit where she know for a fact, nigga, that's not how you talk. Like you done came off, you just on this extra shit, like this shit just blew me, dog. But this is a clear indication, the prime example, like we talked about, that when we have brothers and sisters, that when we get into this environment, sometimes we lose our identity in this situation because we go too far, because we too busy trying to impress and fit in with the culture than be who you are and have your own self-respect of who the fuck you are, and knowing that if you be who you are and you do the right things, you don't have to go out of your way to for people that whether they're going, because they're going to judge you regardless or not. And by the fact that you put on that mask front and talking like that, she's like, yo, she's already created a certain perception in your mind. You like, she knows, like, dog, you have to keep that front on 24/7. So if she catch you in another conversation and you don't have that accent, nigga, you're exposed.
Yep.
You're exposed
Automatically.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to talk about that shit. Like, let's talk about the difference between, for starters, being unapologetically black and just being in a professional environment, but keeping that same flavor to you, but just knowing how to maintain that flavor, but be professional in these work environments, not lose that grittiness. Understand you understand your roots. You know where you come from. You know at the end of the day who you are. You know what I'm saying? And you know that you don't have to conform. You don't have to do extra shit, but you at the same time you still can be professional, my nigga. Because that's how I am. You know, I'm not a racist. I want to put that out there as a disclaimer for anybody that watch this shit and we name this shit Black Men Discuss. It's because Black men is discussing issues that involves our everyday life that we feel is very prevalent to our lives as well as Black people in general. So let me put that as a disclaimer out there. I'm not racist, but at the same time, I understand white people and I understand the environment that I go in every day. So I have to adapt with what I'm doing. At the same time, know who I am and be able to sustain my image as a Black man and create and lay down that foundation. So this is not calling white people out. This is not saying I'm against. This is just saying that this is the type of shit that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a couple reasons why we do this, like why Black people do this. When I say we, first is we tend to be very like you said, we say unapologetically African. Black people are apologetic. Like we apologize for our blackness. You see what I'm saying? Like if my blackness makes you uncomfortable, we feel like we need to change our blackness to make them more comfortable. You see what I'm saying? So if my vernacular or the way I walk or the way I carry myself makes you uncomfortable, then I need to change that in order to make you uncomfortable. To make you comfortable. And then I feel like another reason that people do that, besides the comfortability part, is that they also are afraid, and they get their like people also get their professionalism wrapped up in this false identity where you need to separate the two. You can be professional. Like a lot of times when me and you are talking on this, sometimes I switch between professional conversation like I am right now, where I'm talking professional on the subject, and to us just shoot shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can be professional in the way that you speak, but still maintain who you are. And I feel like a lot of us get you have this duality in identities where you have the white world identity and the Black world identity, and you know what I'm saying? And instead of doing that, you should just have your identity where you're just a professional, and then when you're with your homies. But who you are should not change whether or not you're being professional or not. And I feel like I had to learn that lesson for myself. Like, so I could be professional but still be Akeem. I can say, hey, good morning, how you doing? But I'm not gonna say, hey, good morning, how you doing? You see what I'm saying? I'm still gonna say, hey, good morning. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put this other voice on it. That takes too much work. A lot of us do that because it makes us feel important. Like, for example, as a Black man, we tend to talk or speak with a different higher level of bass. That might make people uncomfortable. So when we talk, like for example, you know the difference when you get on the phone with a black person, we talk to a white person. If I talk to somebody on the phone, I call text all the time. Call Microsoft, Amazon, people like that. I'm calling to talk different text. I know when I'm time to answer the phone, who I'm talking to. You see what I'm saying? I know this is
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, or a white person, whatever, Asian person, Indian dude. I know immediately how they talk, how they sound on the phone. And so some people will put, and sometimes I won't know where, like I've met people at my job where I've spoken to them on the phone. And I'm thinking the whole time David's a white guy. Like, yo, David's a white dude, but David, I'm to come down, gotta go downtown, meet David. I go downtown, meet David. I found out this is a black dude. The whole time he's speaking with a different vernacular and different, you know what I'm saying, accent that's fooling, you know what I'm saying, fooling us. And I feel like, well, fooling himself. And I feel like a lot of that, I feel like some people never get it back too. Like I feel like after 15, 20 years of doing that, that just become who you is. You don't need to like this dude. I mean, I'm not using real names, but like the person I'm talking about, probably doing it for 20 years. And so he don't even recognize that he's doing it. And so I'll do certain, like I realize when I'm talking to black dudes that are doing that, I'll try to throw them certain cues to make them be like, yo, it's okay. You can speak to me regularly. You know what I mean? Like, you don't say it because you don't want to, you don't know, you don't always know if you can trust your own, but you throw a little context clues at them. Like, I'll change certain words that I'll say. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. I see what you're saying there. Like, I'll try to change to let him to see if he'll switch up too. You know what I'm saying? So I'll try to change that conversation to a more relaxed conversation. Let him know he don't got to put that front on with me. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times the dudes will pick that up and immediately be like, oh, all right. And they'll drop, you know what I'm saying? They'll drop it immediately. You know what I mean? But it's just it's crazy to me that we need to do that. And then I think a question I have for you is, do you think we still need to do that? Do you think that's like, I feel like at some point people did that out of they felt like it was, you know, it was a survival tactic. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to make it in this corporate world, you want to move up the ladder, you want to make white people comfortable, you want to feel like you can blend in with them, you want to be able to go to their parties and their functions and move in their crowds and around these people to make these connections and stuff. And so people had to do that. You had to play that. You had to play the game. You see what I'm saying? Like my mom used to tell me, you gotta go play the game. When you go to work, you gotta play the game, right? But now, do you still feel like we need to do that? What do you think?
I feel like this though, dog. It's two different ways of how you view that situation. I feel like, do we need to do that in the corporate world, in the corporate America, to climb the ladder as black men? As crazy as this may sound, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Based on white people expectations to climb their charts. Do we need to do it for ourselves to climb up? Fuck no. When I go to work at the end of the day, and I'm speaking in front of let's say I'm gonna just use something. I'm gonna say something hypothetically. My vice president or my senior VP. I don't feel like I need to speak differently or do anything differently than a white boy does to climb the charts. I'm not going to carry myself that. But if I feel like if I did that and I did that on a certain level of consistency, like you say, 15, 20 years, and outside of that, I did things that represented how I spoke and how I acted, you goddamn right I'm going to climb up real quick. Because then they're going to see a certain identity that I'm perceiving to be as something that they accept and something that they relate to. So then by me being that Oreo ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? And for those that don't know what that term means, Oreo is you black on the outside, but you white on the inside, meaning that internally you want to be a white man. You're a buck dancer. You know what I'm saying? You willing to do whatever it takes to quote unquote coon. Okay, you willing to do whatever it takes to get to where you got to be for the white man. Whether it's changing how your image, changing the way you talk, changing the way you act, and this right here become. You know what it is, Keem? It makes you socially acceptable. Because see, that's how we think. We feel like if we get socially accepted by the white man, then we could climb our way in any way. We could work any ways of the field and go and climb our way to the top. At the end of the day, yes, you might get there, but you always gonna need your brother, or you always gonna need your brothers to fall back on when you get in that time. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, once you climb up like that, there's still is only gonna go but so high for you. And when I'm speaking corporate America here. You know, and that's another thing. That's another two things, King, that me and you gotta. When we talk about this, we have to differentiate the two. Are we referring to how we change our perception and how we act in corporate America or in a corporate setting, as far as an office environment, or are we talking about that? Let's say, for example, like my dad, he does construction, so he works outside doing physical manual labor or running heavy equipment. So he's working in that type of environment because in that environment, a lot of the men are on equal plateau. You even though you may have a white supervisor or a white boss, you still got men that's out there doing the same shit as my dad. It's equal because of the level of work. But when you get into a corporate America or an office environment, the pay scale, the compensation, the status quo, all of that change, and it changes drastically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You may could be in an environment working with somebody making, let's say, for example, mid-level money. He's bringing home 50, 60, but his boss he may be talking to bringing home 200K.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the ladder, the pay scale and the ladder is different in how people are involved with each other. But when you're dealing with something outside, so that black man may feel like, okay, this white man's on the same level as me. I don't give a fuck who he is. I'm gonna be who I am. But in the corporate environment, you like, fuck, if I gotta get to where Bob is, I may have to put on this mask. I may have to do this. So I would say, Keem, honestly, to answer your question, it depends on the type of work and it depends on who you're doing it for. If you're doing it for yourself, then no, you don't have to change that because at the end of the day, your work should speak for you. I'm speaking from my personal self, my own personal integrity, based on my work ethic and what I'm doing should reflect the results of what I should be compensated or what I should be promoted as. If I'm going in there just strictly on status, Keem, and I'm trying to make an impression and swindle my way up through the ladder to get up there, then yes, I'm going to put that mask on because I know that this is what he wants and this is going to get me up the chain.
Right.
And see, and then it becomes that's when it becomes on a level where you evaluate, okay, what kind of self-respect or self-pride do I have for my motherfucking self? Because see, I think that's the problem that us as people we lose sight of. You know what I mean? Like, how do you, at the end of the day, when you look yourself in the mirror as a man or a woman, can you say, oh, I accept this for who I am? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with doing this. I can give I can give two fucks about what they think about me back home in the hood. I'm making this money. I'm taking care of my family. I don't care how they judge me, how they look at me. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I gotta do to get ahead. And I think that's the problem. Like we get to a point where we become something, or we recreate ourselves so much, and we fashion and condition ourselves that it gets to the point where we like, you know what? We lose our identity, our true identity, King. And then now, when we go back to the black culture, niggas can't relate to you because they know you're a fraud. They know what you're doing. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Well, there's another question I
So,
got too, but I also want to spin it because I don't want to leave black women out of it as well because it's not just
of
black.
course.
And so I want to touch on it. I think a portion of it is: do you feel like black women? And I mean, I'm not probably neither one of us probably quantified to speak on it because we're women. But do you feel like while being around black women in the office space, do you feel like they have to do what we have to do as well? And I feel like, and I'm gonna add a portion to your statement as well. So I also feel like a portion of the reason why white people feel more comfortable is because a lot of times our male masculinity or black male masculinity is feared in America. So it's looked at a certain way. And I don't say it's fair because of just white people in general, but I feel like media has created this fear around black male masculinity. So, you know what I'm saying, we're thuggish or gang member, like this mentality that you know what I'm saying, we always try to pop off, that we're angry. You see what I'm saying? So like we have this image around us that we can think to easily get violent when you're involved with a black man. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's in the psychology of white people at all times. They always feel like things can get violent, like you're working with a shark. When you're working with us, you're working with a shark because we easily pop off like that. And and things need to get crazy, they can get violent. And that's just
Yeah.
based off of, you know what I'm saying, misconceptions, or, you know what I'm saying, or how we have been portrayed throughout, you know what I'm saying, through media and other, you know what I'm saying, other avenues of social media and things of that nature. So I feel like a portion of the reason why a lot of us do that is because we want to disarm white folks to make them see like, hey, look, even though that's, you know what I'm saying, the perception of me, that's not who I am. You don't have to be afraid around me. So they put that vernacular on. You see what I'm saying? And so I guess my question to you is, we know where that problem comes at because of us. It's our male masculinity that creates that we know white people are kind of, I don't want to say afraid of, but wary of. So we try to disarm them with that. What, on terms of black females, do you feel like they also have to, you know what I'm saying, vernacular? Do they got it now? So like, with black now got to sound like, you know what I'm saying, and do the black woman now got to sound like, you know what I'm saying, a Becky? You know what I mean? So, you know, not to, you know what I mean, use that term, but for lack of a better term, she got to sound like a white woman. You know what I mean? So what do you think?
I look at it like this because I've seen it on both sides, the black male, and the black woman. I think she has to do it as well, King.
Okay.
I don't think she has to do it to the magnitude in which we have to do it, because, like you said, they don't go into it automatically having to erase the stigma of fear from the white woman's or white man's mental or psyche. They don't have to erase that. We have to basically get rid of that portion. Then we have to, once we get them comfortable to us, to open up to us, then we have to create this perception about, okay, now you don't have to be fearful of me, but at the same time, now you have to know that I'm also intelligent, or I have the same experience, or the same, pretty much, the same experience and the same psyche or mental that you have as well. You know, I have a family, I have morals, I have principles, I have things that I live by and that I'm involved with. I have, you know what I mean, I'm involved in the community. Let's say, for example, I'm a person who, if I was not necessarily using me as an example, but I go to church just like you. You know, I take my kids to soccer practice or whatever, just like you. You know, now we have to raise these conversations up when we're talking about, when we're talking off the record, as far as not work related things. You know what I mean? Because then now, okay, I'm not scared of the black man, but now I see that the black man is also, oh, he's a good black man. You know, he takes care of his wife, he takes care of his kids, he's involved in the community. Man, he's just like me. So then I get past that portion. Okay, after I get past that portion, King, then his next thing is, oh, he has this experience and he has this degree, and oh, and he went here and he knows this. So now I'm erasing the psyche, or I'm erasing the mental portion that you're thinking, okay, I'm not as knowledgeable about you. So now you know that I'm knowledgeable. So I think the black woman, King, as opposed, she doesn't have to actually deal with the fear aspect, and not to mention, it's more of them in corporate America than it is of us. So they're more accepting and more willing because they know that there's more black women in corporate America that's in positions of power than it is black men.
Right.
So that aspect itself right there gives them an advantage. But yes, the black queen, she has to deal with the same shit, because even though she may not necessarily be dealing with that from Roger or from Bill, she's dealing with that from Jackie or either Jill. She's dealing with that between them two, because at the end of the day, they still have a perception of them two as the jigaboo. The jigaboo sister that's working in there. And then they want to know, what is the black woman's credentials? At the end of the day, let's keep it real here, man. White women will always be threatened by a black woman in position of power. That's it. And at the end of the day, they don't like that shit. I work in an environment right now where my manager is a black woman, but I have 2 to 3 white women who work under her, and I can tell you right now, at any given motherfucking chance, they will undermine this woman. And I've heard about them doing it, per se. Off the record, I'm going to say that. So um, this is the type of stuff that they deal with. You see what I'm saying? I'm not
Right.
saying we wouldn't deal with undermining, but we're not in the position predominantly like the black woman is in that environment. But yes, the black woman, she does have to change certain aspects of. I've heard. I listen. I know. Like you say, we play the game, dog. We play the game. I never get me and Dave, man. You know Dave Williams and shit, right?
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
shout out to Dave if you watching this joint, bro. Me and him had this conversation back in 2009, 2010, King. Dave said it best. A lot of times when you're looking for a new job, it's just actually getting the opportunity to interview, right?
yeah.
He said it. I may not look the part of so much as of somebody that I'm actually going to be competing for a job against when it comes to the interview process. But if you get me in the room, I can sell water to a well. Meaning that we know how to talk the game and get there or whatever to get the position or get the status, but it's how they're going to perceive and look at you in that position for the status. You see what I'm saying? Like they're going to have their minds made up of what they wanted. And I'm not trying to get off topic. The point I'm trying to make here is that you have to do so much more in those environments to stand out. You can have the same level of credibility, the same credentials, the same experience, have the same knowledge, but at the same time, you're not going in this day and age, you're still not going to do that. So, like I said, man, we do so much, bro, to conform to what we have to. But yes, the black woman, yes, I think she does. She does have to do that. What you think?
So
And matter of fact, you can speak that in reference to your fiance. Like she's a lawyer. So I mean, if anybody would have, you know what I mean? Like I know that she didn't dealt with that bullshit, man.
yeah, yeah. So to speak on that a little bit, just from our conversations, I don't want to misquote her too well. She probably can hear me from the other room, but
Yeah.
I so like you said, I think she faces um I wouldn't say like pressure, but like threat. Like white women might feel threatened by her. You know what I'm saying? And in her position, but her being in that field is dominated by predominantly white men, especially at like supervisory positions and things of that nature. And so, or manager positions or upper level lawyers in like different firms that she worked for. So she's had experiences where it's easy for her to get the job. You know what I'm saying? As a black woman, I feel like a lot of like you said, black women are more successful than black men. We all know that, right? And a big portion of that, I believe, is because as she has put to me, is that white men fetishize over black women. You see what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
So it's like you know what I'm saying? So white women sometimes feel threatened by her, you know what I'm saying, her sexuality, or she, you know what I'm saying, she's had to not wear certain tight fitting clothes because she don't want to show off her curves as much because of Becky but Becky's can wear different stuff that she can't wear, you know what I mean? So earlier in her career she had to navigate and you know what I'm saying, go through that, you know what I'm saying, fight through that, you know what I'm saying, to try to fit into that corporate world, you know what I'm saying, that environment as a black woman, not feel threatening or not be fetishized over. She wanted to be looked at for her credentials. She didn't want to be looked at, you know what I'm saying, her work ethic. She didn't want her managers or supervisors to look at her as an object, you know what I'm saying, objectively as some kind of sexual object, like, oh, look at her curves, look at her lips, look at her breasts. So she tried not to wear certain tight fitting clothes and stuff like that. And then she also didn't want to feel, you know what I'm saying. I mean, she didn't necessarily tell me this, but I feel like a portion of that she might not also want to be looked at a certain way by white females. And so I think, like you said, I think there is they also have to navigate a certain way, but it might not necessarily be the same way that we had to navigate, where
Yeah.
they have to navigate in a way where they don't want to be seen as like you said, like hoochies or jigaboos or some kind of object
Yeah.
object of sex within the environment. She talks about like white men constantly making, you know, passes and advances at her. While she was pregnant with our child, going to work every day with her goddamn engagement rock on her finger, she's still getting advances at white men, or white men knocking on the door, you know what I'm saying, trying to say hi to her, or what's up, or do you need anything? You know what I mean? And it's like, why are you doing that to a pregnant, engaged woman? You see what I'm saying? You still, um, to make advances at her or make little passes, not directly, but just shooting your shot a little bit to see how she take it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and she deals with that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like black women have to kind of beat back. You know what I'm saying? These some of these advances and stuff, and then navigating between white women who might pretend to be your friends, but like you say, looking to backstab you at any chance they can get or undermine you or things of that nature. So you got to navigate between who you befriend as your co-worker. So I feel like they also, got to deal with it. Might not necessarily be like the vernacular or the way they speak, but their behavior. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they definitely have to, have challenges in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the challenges as where we come from, where we being feared. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the big of our challenges, we're feared, we're deemed as lazy. I was just, while you was talking, I was just checking out of an article that I read a couple years ago, and I was checking to see if it was online. And I want to touch on this a bit, but I really don't want to get into it because I don't want to really get into the homosexual thing. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it was an article written in the Huffington Post that said, just like you have white male privilege, you got black male gay privilege. Whereas, and we know this, speaking from personal experience, we have frat brothers and others, you know what I'm saying, who are very successful as homosexual black men because they're not feared in the workplace. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I go in there and I'm speaking and I'm talking, and the way I talk, my stature, my manner, me being masculine black male, might to a white man might be deemed, you know what I'm saying? He might be what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidated. He might be intimidated by me or have a little bit of fear and think, like I said to you before, might not want to hire me because if we don't have a disagreement, he's scared things might pop off. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or I might be in a workplace trying to sleep around or whatever other stereotypes he might have of black men. Me being a masculine black male, well, he might not be comfortable with that, right? But if a homosexual black man comes to the place, there is no fear element involved in that. He's not looking to date women in the office place. He speaks in a different tone or a different twang that doesn't seem doesn't offend you or doesn't intimidate you in any way. A lot of times homosexual men are very good dressers, right? So he dressed very nice. So he's going to come there looking and dressed sharply and everything like that. They're also very friendly. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
so there's a homosexual black male privilege that comes along where they're, you know what I'm saying? The studies have shown they're more successful than straight black men. So studies have, I know, like having to do a study, I can think of several homosexual black men that are very successful, more successful than straight black men. And I feel like a part of that is played because, like you said, they are able to move and navigate through that corporate world because there's no intimidation factor. Like people are not intimidated by them at all.
Of course not. And a lot of times, I didn't mean to cut you off, but a lot of times you have a lot of a homosexual gay white men that's in higher in position of power.
Right.
So
right.
they are necessarily attracted to this type of lifestyle, but they are attracted to it behind scenes. So they're willing to promote based on personal credentials, but at the end of the day, they're looking out for their own. And that's how it is. I've seen it. I've seen this shit personally, first hands on. So I know. And like I said, let me make another disclaimer. This is nothing against the LGBT community, but this is a fucking fact that, like Kim said, that homosexual black men are definitely not deemed as being a threat towards the white man, and they climb the corporate ladder of success faster than the average black man, period. As opposed to me, and I know it. I've seen this shit with my own eyes. This is a fact. This ain't no personal bias against gay black men. This is a fucking fact. Like, so I don't, and I will argue this with gay black men. It doesn't make a difference how you want to look at it. I don't care how you view it. You know what I'm saying? If you can take it how you want to take it. I see it. I seen it. I seen it in my own eyes, so I know how it works. Like Keem says, I'm not going to get in too much details in it because that's not the premise of the conversation. But it's definitely something that definitely correlates to what we're talking about as far as your perception, how you act, and your involvement in those work settings.
And then also let me also throw another disclaimer because this might not be universal, but I think it definitely it could be geographical as well because we'd also know we got that Bible Belt area. So I don't know how it is down south or how it might be in other areas of the country, but I know in the northeastern area of the United States and out west is a little different. Things are a lot more liberal. You see what I'm saying? So in your New Yorks and your DCs and your Philadelphias, your Jerseys, out especially out in California, your San Francisco's, your Silicon Valley, your Hollywood areas, you know what I'm saying? Especially, so I know for a fact, and these are big booming high industry areas with a lot of corporations and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, and high paying jobs, especially government jobs. So
Yep.
especially in government jobs. So I know these areas and I've seen it myself just navigating through that world and being, being involved with different contracts, being working for different governments, working with different people in different, you know what I'm saying, different companies. I've seen it a lot. So they definitely move through that world a lot easier than we move through that world because I personally believe they're not deemed a threat. If anybody that wants to check that article out, anybody watching it, it was an article written in Huffington Post. I'll even give you the author's names. I just looked it up. If you want to look it up, it's called Unmasking Black Gay Privilege. It is by John Fitzgerald Gates. He holds a PhD. So just in case, you know what I'm saying, you want to check the credentials of this article and check it out. It gives a little bit more in depth on that. So just make sure y'all don't think that I'm sitting out here spitting out some anti-homosexual bullshit.
Yeah. Get them niggas, give them niggas in-text citations and and references, dog.
Spitting it out, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm saying I just do my research when I talk about different things, and you know what I'm saying. I noticed it personally just in my own work environment, not where I work at now, but previous work environments. And so I did the research to see if that all right. I see this as other people seeing it. So there's stuff out there written about it. Anybody can look it up. But like I said, I think all this goes back to this fear of black male masculinity. And I feel like we immediately look to try to disarm white men. We try to make them feel comfortable with us. We want to be apologetic for our blackness. We don't want to say things a certain way and offend them. We don't want to say words a certain way and have them think less of us. It's all about white approval. And I feel like at this point, if we want to gain some self-respect for ourselves and feel good about yourself, like it doesn't feel good to know you got to go to work every day, not only doing a job that you don't want to do, which a lot of people go to work they don't want to do, but then you also go there and pretend to be somebody else for 8 and 9 hours. That shit is hard. So I feel like what we should be doing is at least be yourself. It doesn't mean don't be
yourself.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean don't be professional, but go into that job interview, go into your work every day. If you already created a certain environment in your job and you've been doing that for the longest, well, you might be stuck doing that now. You can't just go in that bitch and decide now you're gonna switch it up because they're gonna be like,
But I put it to you like this, man. I know me when I first came in college, when I first got out of college, the first 2 or 3 years, I would say the first 4 years, everything for me was all about making an impression. And I didn't give a fuck whether it was the white man, the white woman, whoever it was, I was trying to make an impression.
Right.
Was I cognizant of my surroundings and my work environment and that my boss in both positions was white men? Yes, I was. And that at the time, I didn't have so much knowledge of self. I didn't have so much self-pride. I didn't have so much, I didn't have the brain in the head that I have now. You know what I'm saying? So as you can say, I wasn't quote unquote woke at the time.
Right.
But after going through so much stuff over the years, the course of the years now, and being at a certain level of, how can I say this? At a certain level of comfortability where I'm at now, to the point where, I mean, my swag, I feel like it's on 1,000. Like,
right.
So when I go to work as a black man, and it doesn't necessarily mean where I'm working at now, based in the corporate sector. It could be anywhere. My self-esteem is so fucking high that I could give 2 fucks about what a white man thinks about me, because he's never going to catch me outside of my character. He's never going to catch me as far as there's a disconnection in my work ethic. He's never going to catch me to the point where he can question my work integrity. I feel like all of the elements that makes up a good work colleague, I exemplify that and more. Now, what he will catch, he gonna catch all that good shit that's expected as somebody who's supposed to come to work and do their job. But he gonna catch more good shit. He's gonna catch some shit at my job that he ain't got that I'm walking around. King, when I walk around that motherfucker, I got my Ralph Lauren on, nigga, my Perry Ellis belt. My slacks and my dress slacks got a crease in them. I got Kohan dress shoes on, polo socks. Listen, if I'm showing the guns, them bitches got coconut oil on them. You know what I'm saying? The teeth is white. The beard is, the mustache, everything is groomed to the T. Line up is sharp. My swag is 1,000.
Right.
I feel like I'm flawless. And on top of that, when you stop me in the hallway and you have a conversation with me, because a lot of times the motherfuckers, they look at you, Kim, and the first thing they want to do, hey, man, you work out? Yes.
Oh, I get that all the time.
I work out. Not only do I work out, I'm a vegan plant-based eater, so I let that be known that at the end of the day, I take care of myself, and then off the rip. See, the reason I like to put that in context, King, when I talk to people, the first thing is because I want to let you know from Jump Street, before we even go further into this conversation, I'm letting you know off the rip that this is something that I love, because you already peeped the physique. You see the physique, so you know I hit the gym. Now you're gonna know that the nutrition is there. So when you see that those two particular elements are top priorities, you don't even know whether I'm a good father. You don't even know whether I do flag football on Sundays or that I coach and mentor high school football players. Before I even get into that, the fact that I take care of those two things should tell you off the rip that I have some type of my prioritization is in place for some aspect. So this brother, at least he takes care of himself. Now, and you can see that off the physical GP. So before we go depth into that, today, for example, King, I was in the fucking break room talking to this white dude. He's an underwriter at my job. I'm in there building with him on this shit that's going on right now in fake news carrying politics with North Korea and Donald Trump. We in there chopping it up. And the dude is looking at me like, damn, like, you know this shit? Yeah, nigga. Dog, just because I'm not in front of you and I'm not talking or acting, as we say, King, the way you think or how you think I should, just know that these are particular elements that I'm involved. I'm a very intelligent brother, and I am very aware and conscious of what's going on in my environment. But when it's time to have these conversations, we can have them. But when we get back on the floor and we're working, let's build and let's talk about things that's going to make the department and the company better. See, and that's the thing. If y'all out here viewing this, ask yourself, do you have a good balance to where you can have a conversation that doesn't pertain to work, but a conversation that does? And see, once you feel like you caption and you got those two particular elements to where when white people are talking to you or they involved with you, oh, you good. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna come to you, they're gonna talk to you about shit, they're gonna feel comfortable talking to you about shit with work, and they're gonna feel comfortable talking to you about shit as far as catching up on some sports highlights or talking about things that's involved with life and different things like that. But I'm not conforming, I'm not changing who I am. I'm pretty much creating a foundation to where this is my personality, and there's a broad spectrum of it. Don't put me in a box. And if you do, I'm going to climb up that motherfucker and show you that I have more to me than based on what the naked eye shows. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. It's more than you perceive.
So,
yeah,
more than you perceive. I mean, as y'all can see, man, I get real passionate about this conversation because you got to realize something. I've been working in this environment for going on 8 years, so I see the bullshit. Not only have I been working in this environment, I've been in a supervisory role over top of people, so I've been in conversation with VPs. At the same time, I've gone back on the floor in the trenches with my work colleagues, so I can see and I know the discussion that goes on at both levels. And I know that as a black man, what I have to do and what I cannot do to coexist in these environments to be successful, but at the same time have some self-respect and know who the fuck I am and not conform or change who I am. And I think that's the times, a lot of times we get around, we don't know how to do that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But we talked about that, man. Let's talk a little bit about the second part in which we just want to talk about as far as being self-sufficient and you know, what would it take to the point where you feel like you don't have to be in those environments to do any of that. Start your own business, do your own thing, and still keep that certain thing. Like, what are some goals driven ways about going? What are some things that can make you more goal driven and put you into a situation where you feel better that you can do those things, man?
I mean, I personally feel like this is just, you know what I'm saying, my personal uh feel on things is I feel like most most people, you might like your job, you might love your job, you might love what you do. But at the end of the day, that's just a job, right? And when it comes time, when you have children, you can't give your children that job, right? Like I've made it to a certain level of success. I've been successful. I can see my potential, my ladder of where I can be, right? But that's all for me, right? I can say it's for my family, but it's technically all for me because when my daughter get of age, I can't give her that. I can't say, all right, child 18 now, I'm gonna give her this job here. I can't give her that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't own it. So how do I set my daughters up so that, you know what I'm saying? And not only my daughters, but myself. Like I'm type of dude is like this time that I'm spending home with my family, I love this time right now. Like we wake up together, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, we make breakfast, we taking care of the baby, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a beautiful time for me right now. And I'm blessed to be able to do that and still get paid. And I want to do that shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like this shit that hit me like, yo, I want to do this all the time. Like, why the fuck I can't live life like this every day? You know what I'm saying? Where I get up, you know what I'm saying, in the morning, we do the family thing, we going to doctor's appointments, we doing taking care of business, we doing everything together, we work, you know what I'm saying, we moving, taking care of the household, everything is good. Planning stuff for the wedding. We just sitting at home, relaxing, chilling, taking care of each other, taking care of the baby. I don't even want to go to that corporate environment. But you can't just quit. Like, all right, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm quitting. So you got to put steps and planning into place. And I feel like you constantly, our generation, need to be thinking about ways to become self-efficient. There are so many ways now and so many ways to earn money on the side, you know what I'm saying? Like just through social media or YouTube or start a bit. Like there's so many different ways to start businesses now and to become self-sufficient. So I feel like a part of the next goal for myself, and I feel like everyone else should be becoming an entrepreneurial. You know what I'm saying? Doing something else on the side, putting your work on the side, building your business, building a brand. You know what I'm saying? You got what you do for 9 to 5. That might be your job, but I know that's not who you are. Like
Gotcha.
I'm good at IT. I can do that shit. I can do that shit for the next 25 years. But that's not who I am, though. That's not what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about athletics. I'm passionate about my people. I'm passionate about history. I'm passionate about our culture. That's, you know what I'm saying? So this is who I am. That is what I do. I want to
Yeah.
pay for who I am and not what I do. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I feel like we gotta figure out. Like and I feel like everybody needs to figure out. You can have what you do to get paid, but you also need to have who you are. And if you figure out how to get paid for who you are and not for what you do, you know what I'm saying? You do what you do in the meantime until you figure out how to do the other thing. You don't just up and quit and be like, all right, because you still got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your family. You got to take care of your bills. You see what I'm saying? So me and my wife is in discussions every day about business opportunities or how we going to invest and all that. I'm constantly dropping bugs like, hey, You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at these stocks, or I'm looking at this, or I'm thinking about investing in this, or, you know, I'm looking at maybe we can get into real estate, maybe we can do this, or, you know, we're going to start throwing the money aside for this. Like, I'm constantly looking for ways out. And just by me having those conversations, I'm putting it, to me, this is my belief, I'm putting it in the universe. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling the universe where my next step want to be. So I'm already giving the universe a heads up to start planning, to make steps for me to step to that next realm. You see what I'm saying? Just like I put it in the universe where I want to be right now, as far as the IT shit, I told myself 2 years ago where I wanted to be with my job title. I wanted the job title and everything I wanted. I said, this is the job title I want, and I got it. So I'm telling myself right now, this is what I want, and I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? I might not have all the answers right now, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm putting it out there. Just because everybody, a lot of us don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no idea what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna keep telling myself I'm gonna figure out a way to do it until that damn answer comes. Until the universe send me that answer, I'm gonna keep talking about it. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what we need to do. A lot of people think like, oh man, what am I gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people like, oh, what am I gonna do? I don't know anything about starting no businesses. I don't know anything. Only thing you know is how to work for somebody. But if you put it out there, if you talk about it, if you say it in the universe, like I'm saying it on live goddamn Google Hangout, I'm gonna find a way to work for myself. I'm gonna find a way. So I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it in the universe, and that you just got to do that. That's just, you know, saying, my takeaway. What do you think?
Like you said, I think you got to speak that shit into existence. Like you said, man, it's evident, man. Like I'm at the same point, and that's why when I put it into the caption today, when I posted on Instagram, I said, what are ways that we can become self-sufficient, ourselves included, meaning me and you, even though we build about it. Like, that's why it's called a discussion. It's like me and you were talking about it yesterday, man. Like, my plan is to go back to school in the not this fall, but in the winter, starting after the winter, to be enrolled somewhere, and I will be there to go to, and moving in the direction towards getting my certifications or legit degree towards becoming a clinical and licensed nutrition and dietitian. Like, these are things that I'm passionate about. Like, I love teaching, and the thing is, I love teaching people about understanding how to eat better. And then I love being able, like you said, I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about research material. I'm passionate about reading and studying and history. Like, and also, like you said, the number one thing, bettering my people. Like, these are all things that I draw a huge connection with, that I get passionate about and I love doing, because it's something that has become a revolving method or revolving window around my lifestyle, man. And don't make a difference what the fuck I do, I can't get away from it. I can go to 9 to 5, I can do this on the side, but for whatever reason, when I wake up in the morning or when I go to bed at night, these are things that constantly are on my mind. Of course, we deal with the stress throughout the day, whatever we may deal with as far as things that involve our lifestyle. But when you look back on it and you reflect, man, at the end of the day, these are things that I feel like are passionate about what I'm doing. So I feel like, to me being self-sufficient is I have to take more of an assertive and aggressive approach to pursue my dreams. Because, like you said, man, you keep talking about something and talking about it, eventually you're going to do it. It's when you stop talking and stop pursuing it, and it becomes something that's dead in the water, is where you never act on it, man. And I feel like, even though I've gotten to the point where I get frustrated with myself, I'm like, damn, dog, like, you just been talking and talking and talking. When you go, it's still relevant to me, meaning that I'm going to get it done, because I'm the type of person, when I put my heart and mind in something, I'm going to achieve it. So I just feel like I said, man, how does this correlate to what we talked about earlier? Is the fact that if you really want to be the true who you is, and you're tired and you're working in an environment where you feel like, yo, you can't be the person that you want to be, that means that's a motherfucking clear indication that you need to get out of that environment and get towards your dreams and something that you feel you can be in. Whether it's another job or whether it's something you're going to business for yourself. But don't conform yourself to an environment or a culture for the sake to chase that money. Because at the end of the day, money ain't gonna buy you happiness. I don't give a fuck what they say, what they do. I done seen it, I done made it, I have not made it. I've been broke and I've made money. And at the end of the day, I can tell you, man, the only thing that's gonna bring you happiness and peace is the things that you enjoy and that you are passionate about in life. and for to chase that dollar, it ain't it. It ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm at a point now. Any job I go to, King, the the compensation, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me like most people make it out to be. Of course, I would love to be making more money. I'm not gonna sit here in front about that, but it's the little things. It's the flexibility. It's the
Right.
work. It's the work culture.
Right.
It's the benefits. It's certain things that come along with that, especially as a black man, when you have a family, you have a wife, you have a son, and you have a certain level of responsibilities and accountability for things, you have to put them things become huge, considerable factors. And when I think about that, man, that's where I'm at in life. So if I could gear myself and position myself to have my own career and then be able to take care of those things, think about how much more happiness how much more happiness will bring towards my life. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would, the benefits that I would reap from that would be endless. I feel like, man.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
yeah, man. I mean, then these are things, man. I feel like, man, honestly, like, we having this, we using this tonight on Black Men Discuss to really talk about these things, man. But like I said, every discussion that we do or something that we talk about, the main premise that me and King want to do, man, is bring awareness.
Right.
And then by putting this shit out here, dog, we have something that's tangible. Because if you think I don't go back and review and look at all our discussions, man, and then I feel like by doing this, when we talk to niggas in our chats or we talk to niggas, yo, you want to know something? You got a reference point. Go look at what we talked about, nigga. If you don't believe what we saying or whatever, go look at what we talk. We've been talking about this shit for God knows how long, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's all good material to build off of, man. And you know what I mean? Like, and honestly, I push any and everybody to be self-sufficient in life, man. Like I said, and it doesn't necessarily have to be going into your own business. So being self-sufficient to me is a definition of pushing yourself to doing something that's going to bring you happiness. That's my definition of it. Or making you to the point where you're able to provide for yourself and bring yourself something that somebody else can't do for you. Only you could do it, and you could drive yourself in that position. And that's what you got to get to, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
yeah, man. Yeah, King. But if you got some more to build on that, man. You know what I mean? I know you got some shit you got to take care of tonight, man. You know, I got a little one or whatever. So, oh yeah, and shout out to my man King, man. Just had his newborn, man. We gonna put it out there, man. Black Men Discuss, man. My man got a newborn baby, man.
Real quick, go ahead. Keep talking. Let me see.
Tell her, she's a newborn, man. Her name is Raya, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get a chance to see the little baby yet, man. But it's a beautiful thing, man. With a man, and he brings another child to the world. My man is an outstanding father as well, man. So, we just build, man, and I hope y'all continue to keep subscribing, man, and keep looking at our page, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is something I wanted to talk about. We hadn't done one in a while, so I feel like we had to give some people some material. And this is a good topic, man. I actually had a couple people hit me up today and talk about this shit. My dude Kev, you know Kev, the one that went to Mason. You see what he wrote on my page, dog, on the caption?
No, what do you write?
When you get a chance, check that shit out, man. He wrote some deep shit on there, man. I read it briefly when I was at work. I looked at it, and he broke it down. He said it was some information that he got from somebody else, but it was deep, man. And I got to go back and review it again tonight when I get off when we finish the webcast or whatever. But I really want to make more sense of it. You know what I'm saying? Of the material that he talked about, man.
Oh yeah, I see what he. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's some deep. Yeah, I know. I definitely know. Okay. Yeah. Josh, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Josh, man. Yeah, man. So
that's
I mean, that's all I got, man, for the night, man. If you got anything else you want to bring to the table, man, talk about, man. You know, we're gonna definitely try to come back next week with some shit.
Yeah, we keep coming.
And just
I had something else, but I'm like, that'd take us a whole nother hour. I got some shit to do, so we going for next week. Cause a part 2 of this, I wanted to
text me that shit. We're gonna carry it over to next week, because then I want to be able to get some material and put together so I can bring on to the discussion as well about it, man.
Okay,
so I have some shit, man.
Yeah, because it's another avenue, because we covered pretty much as far as like vernacular and speaking. But the other avenue is also behavior and work ethic, right? Like, dude, you gotta work hard.
Gotcha.
You gotta work harder than somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So we didn't touch on
And
that.
we talked. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that tonight, but we really, I know I touched a little bit on it, but I didn't really go in on that aspect. So yeah, that'd be good to talk about next week.
All right, so we can throw that on next week. But yeah, that could take us another 30, 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Just talking about how we got effort that we put forth. So yeah. But yeah, man, good build tonight, man. Good build, good way to talk about it. Like for me, this is just, you know what I'm saying, to be honest with y'all, we film this, but this is just me having conversation with my man. You know what I'm saying? Like we just sit here, we like and so with it, you know what I mean? We talk about a lot of deep shit. And, you know what I'm saying? I feel like bring the world in on what we talking about. And then, like you said, it's a reference point for us to go back. Like, yeah, I know a couple years from now, we can go back and look at it like, yo, we talked about this back in 2017, you know what I mean? Hopefully we still doing it 4 or 5 years down the line and the platform them got bigger and bigger. So, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Keep talking, keep building as things come up and go from there, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also too, just to let y'all motherfuckers know out there too, I'm still boycotting the NFL for Colin Kaepernick. We did 2 or 3 lectures talking about that, so we don't have to go in on that. If you don't know what we stand on it, go to my fucking Instagram page, Free Columnist. You'll see where I stand on the situation. I hope that the shit that we talked about, that is waking some of you niggas up out there, and that you see it from a lens that we is. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. You make your own decisions as a black man or a black woman, but just know that this issue is bigger than than the game of football, and it's bigger than the NFL, man. So you make your own decisions. It's not gonna change where we stand on it. We believe in this shit. We behind this shit, and ain't nothing going to deteriorate that, man. So whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still on that shit, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to my nigga Kaepernick, man.
Yep. So same here. You already know we've been talking about this for months now. Before it even got popular, we've been talking about it. So
exactly.
Talking about boycotting and not watching NFL. So you already know where I stand on it. I'm all media talking about it. I'm already trying to get as many people I can influence to not watch it. You know what I'm saying? And I actually feel like it's a good thing. I actually feel like it's a real good thing because to me, it gives me an opportunity to focus on something else. Like I've known for the longest that football was a distraction. And I've known for the longest that it wasn't real life. So now I can spend my Sundays focusing on my craft, building my business, spending time with my family, picking up a book. It's a lot more. I have not more time now where I don't feel like I need to be dedicated to watching 4 or 5 hours of a football game. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
So like now I can be more productive. And it's probably something that I should have been doing in the first place. So, you know what I'm saying? I even take a shot at myself. I should have been doing that in the first place. Should have never been allowing something like this to dominate this period of my life every fall. So now I'm getting back to being, you know what I'm saying, more productive. The shit come on, I don't even watch it. I don't even bother me. My wife was like, yeah, the Redskins on. I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the Redskins.
Exactly.
I don't care. The Eagles playing. I don't care about the motherfucking Bucks. I don't care about none of that. It don't matter to me. It don't make a difference at this point. It don't make a difference. So it is what it is, man. But that's all I got, man.
All right, man. Well, like I said, man, thank y'all for tuning in to Black Men Discuss, man. We'll be back next week at 8:30 p.m., man. You know what I'm saying? Me and my man's King. So I appreciate y'all looking out. If you can, continue to support the channel. If you're not subscribe to the channel. And please pass the channel on to other people and get them to subscribe in our material, man. I appreciate y'all for looking tonight and viewing tonight. Peace.
Peace. All right, Ma.
All right, Ma.